This is a video on how to replace the receiver on an 1866. Have you bought a brand new 1866 and perhaps scratched the receiver and hope to have a new one and put this back in its elegant state of the Wild West? Well then, this video is for you. If you have had an 1866, you can understand that the receiver sometimes can get scratched or damaged, and if you do reach out to us and we send you a receiver or you'd like to purchase one, you can reach out to us at help@barra.airguns.com. But basically today we're just going to go over how to disassemble it enough to put a new receiver back on the 1866. So the first thing we want to do is to make sure that the gun is fully unloaded. So I can tell because the action has not been pulled back, point it in a safe direction and have fired. A couple tools that you will need are a regular Phillips head screwdriver, and then you'll need a mini Phillips head screwdriver, and then I just like to keep a rag because the receivers get pretty messy as you touch them and get your fingerprints all over them. So on the left side of the gun, we'll start there. Let's undo this first Phillips head screw, and I just like to grab all three of these and put them in a group together. That way we have them all in the same spot for whenever we put the new receiver on. Put these over here. There's going to be a little tiny screw on the bottom. Ouch! There's going to be a screw down here on the bottom of the receiver. Let's undo that. It's down there by the stock. Then on the right side of the gun, same three screws. Again, keep those together. And then on top of the 1866 of the receiver, there's a screw right here. Make sure to take that off. And then on the right side, there are two little Phillips head screws, and they are on the top of the receiver. So go ahead and take those out. So once you have all the screws out, you're going to see the receiver is going to start to open. If you place it on its right side and pull up, the left side is going to come off a little bit easier, and you can just slide this off of your butt plate. So it literally just slides on like that, and you can slide it right off. And just set that to the side. There's your left side. And then the easiest way to get the right side off is if you open up the pump arm and grab it towards the front here. It's going to be hung on by your bolt assembly, so if you just pull it back a little bit, grab it from the front and kind of peel it back just pretty gently. And be careful of that spring. This spring goes on the trigger, so be careful of that spring shooting off. So now that you have this off, this is what the two receivers look like. You have your bolt here on the right side, and then you have your safety on the left side, and also your spring that will sit in this unit that goes on your trigger. So this is what the spring looks like, and it just goes right here. Okay, now that you have your receiver off, we're going to take the new one and put it on. So we'll just get it ready, get it opened up, and take a look. We have the bolt ready, so we can go ahead and put it on. There's a little piece right here where this bolt is going to slide into, so just try to stick it on there and then gently bring the receiver down to where it clips into place. Okay, it's kind of tough to get that right side on, but once you get it on, it just takes a little bit of working around trying to put that piece on there. But once you have it on there, just make sure that you can still slide your bolt back and forth, and that should be seated pretty correctly. And this little spring right here goes on the bottom. This is your trigger spring it pops on this little notch here, and it's just easiest if you use your two fingers to push it down in that slot and make sure it's up over that. And that's where that goes right there. Okay, now for the left side. This side of the receiver is where your hammer assembly is. Now the hammer comes with a spring, and there's a little unit right here that you really want to make sure this is key, because if you don't get your hammer right, then it's not going to work properly. So the way that this works is on the back side of your hammer, there's a little hole next to this little roller, and you're going to put the angled piece of the spring on that and line the hole up with the spring. And when you slide this down, it's going to be the biggest piece that's sticking up on the left side. You're going to slide that down, and then you just want to make sure that the hammer is behind this little slot here, and you take your spring and tuck it down behind that. And you're just going to want to pull this back to make sure that it's locked in the right position. Okay, now you're going to want to take the left side of your receiver and slide it back into the buttstock. So go ahead and slide it down in there. And then if the BB door falls out again, you can fix it, pull it back in there. And then you will just line it up here with the other side of the receiver. Your receiver should come together just like that. Make sure everything is all looking good and lined up. And then we can start putting these screws back in. So we'll start with our first group here. The longest screw is going to go in the middle. This thicker screw right here of the two short ones goes in the front under the BB reservoir. And then the smaller one on the back. Then this little fathead screw goes on the bottom of the receiver. And now the left side, take your 3 screws. 2 smallest ones go in the front. Small one goes in the rear. The thicker threaded small screw goes in the front again, just like the other side, and then your longer screw will go in the middle. And don't forget about your 2 little guys here. 2 little screws go on the very top of the receiver. And the last screw goes on the very top, right here. Now that you have your new receiver on, just go ahead and make sure that your safety stays back, your BB reservoir door still works, and your bolt operates correctly. And then this is where I'll take the rag, get it polished up, looking nice and new. And the final results take you back in time of the Old West cowboy. If you have any other questions regarding a receiver or parts for your 1866 or general maintenance, make sure to check out our YouTube channel, and you can reach out to us at help@Barra Airguns, and we'd be happy to help. Thanks for watching.